Welcome to Google Sites for Students. My name is Lisette Melendez. I go by Liz, and I teach at Nestor. I'm currently a sixth grade teacher at Nestor Language Academy. If at any point you have any questions, please feel free to write them down in the chat, and I will make sure to address them towards the end of the session. I want this session to be a little bit more hands-on. So I am going to skip, kind of do this slide thing really quick, and then we'll get straight to kind of exploring Google Sites a little bit more. Before I begin, can I ask how confident or how comfortable do you feel with Google Sites right now? So maybe you could tell me in the chat, do you feel you're an expert, I feel comfortable, or I'm new to Google Sites? Okay, awesome. All right, so we have all kinds of levels, and that's even better because the people that do have experience can chime in and help me out whenever you have some tips as well. So basically what I want to review during these 20 minutes is the first thing is advantages. What advantages do students have in creating a Google site during this distance learning, and hopefully even in the future when we go hybrid or in-person model as well. I do want to share with you guys some examples of some Google sites that my students have created so that you can see what our kids are capable of. And then finally, like I said, I do want to spend a lot of time into the exploration aspect of this and kind of create a Google Sites to kind of get an idea of what our students are going to be doing whenever we want them to create a Google site, if that's something that you are thinking about doing in the future. Okay, so some advantages for students creating a Google site is that it's an interactive way for students to showcase what they've learned. So it could be used as a formative or as a summative assessment of any subject. It could be for math, reading, writing. The possibilities are endless. It could also be used as a student portfolio to showcase what they've learned from the beginning of the school year up until the end of the school year, or even to showcase what they've learned at the completion of a unit for math, for reading, or writing. And then also something that I've used this year is using Google Sites to have student-led conferences where students present their Google site to their parents, and they show them their improvement from the beginning of the first trimester up until the second trimester. So there's a lot of advantages. In the next slide, there's a video about other things and advantages that it has. I'm not going to play it, but you have access to it in case you want to go back to it and see the video of what else you could do with Google Sites. Skip it. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some examples that my students have produced. At the beginning of the year, I wanted to use Google Sites as a way to showcase their writing. So I have Elijah right here. This is his Google site. Basically, at the end of every writing unit, I would spend one day to model and explain how to upload their work. And then at the beginning, it was kind of like long. It would take a long time, and I would have to do it very slow. I even recorded myself, explaining how to do it. But then I noticed that at the end of the second trimester, they were just doing it by themselves. So you could put images. They could. We use Google Classroom, so you could embed their writing in there and showcase it right there. If I go up here, he has tabs for narrative writing. And this is all him. So this student specifically is pretty advanced at technology, and that's what's the beauty of Google Sites is that students can create and um, make their site, their portfolio as intricate as they want, or as simple as just attaching their writing. So here's his writing, and even his graphic organizers attached for narrative writing. And he even included a little uh, like synopsis of what he learned from narrative writing. And then here we could see informational writing. And again, he attached his writing and his essay and his graphic organizer. And this is not like he's doing it again. He already did it in Google Classroom. So all we did was embedded it into the Google Sites. And then this is another example of another student. She also is a little bit more advanced because you could see how she added the background. But again, the students can do what they please with it as long as we provide them with kind of like that structure of what we want them to do, and then they can create after that. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a Google site and explore. I would like for you guys to please go to your Google Drive. Let me know if you need help going into your Google Drive. So once you're in your Google Drive, I want you to go to New, go to More, and click on Google Sites. Once again, it's New. Once you're in your Drive, New, More, Google Sites. So the first thing I told the kids is to title their page. And I kept it as simple as put your name, your first and your last name, right here where it says untitled site. You can have them name it whatever name you want to have, but it was just easier for them to find their Google site once we wanted to revisit it. So if they just put their first and last name, they can just search it later on their Google Drive. Okay. Now you will be, once you create the Google site, this is the home screen. So you could have them create a little page about themselves. That's what I did at the beginning of the year, where it was, they drew themselves and then they told me a little bit about themselves, just to kind of make them acquainted to Google Sites, and then also give them an opportunity to explore with Google Sites. So this could be all about me. And on this bottom white part, that's where you can start creating. On the right side, you're going to see different items or different options where you can insert a text box. You could insert images. And what we do when we want to insert the writing, we just go to Drive. And since everything that they do on their Google Classroom goes to their Drive, they just have to search the item that they want to include in their Google site. So I could search for narrative writing. And for students, it's the same steps. They're going to select what they want to include, and then insert. And it automatically puts it there for them. They could also move it around. So if I want this side by side, I could click and drag it to the side so that the graphic organizer is on one side and the writing is on the other. And also they can change the image of their banner by just clicking on change image. They can upload an image that they want to, or they can select an image from Google that is already here in the gallery. Okay. Any questions so far in regards to how to insert or the options that we have once we are in the Google Sites? Now it could get more challenging. We could start doing other kinds of things like image carousel, table of contents, divider. We could do a calendar. For our students, I would say keep it simple and let them, if they want to explore and add more stuff, let them do it. For now, I would say keep it simple. And the key thing is every time there's a change to their Google site, they always have to click publish. If they don't click publish, nothing that they did will be saved. So this is key. Publish, publish, and then it's done. If you want to see how your page is going to look when it's not in this area where you can make edits, you could click on this top part where there's a laptop and like a phone looking image. You click there and it shows you how everyone else will see it once you share the link. So this is what everyone else will see. Okay, so if you want to add new pages or tabs, you would have to go to the pages option on the right hand side. And if you could see, right now I only have the home page. If you want to add another page or another tab, you would have to click on the plus symbol and then it would add a new page. So maybe I want to do math journal. And then it'll just take you to your new page. So now you have tabs, your home tab page and your math journal page. Again, save. Always click publish whenever you make any changes. Otherwise, it won't save. Publish.
Liz, where do you couch this in your day? Under what subject do you couch this in our short days?
Yeah. So the way I use Google Sites is as a portfolio. So at the end of a writing unit, that's when I dedicate one day for my students to kind of add what they've done in that unit. So we just completed narrative writing, and I think it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago. That's when we took 30 minutes to do this.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not something that we do every day, just at the end of a unit, but you can choose to do it at the end of every week, or it's completely optional how you want to implement this in your classroom.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Sorry, I know you mentioned that already many times. How do you save again?
That's okay. On the top right corner, there should be a little blue purple button that says publish.
Okay, see it.
Click on it.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, awesome. Mr. Anderson, the STEM teachers will be teaching this over the next few weeks. Awesome.
And if they've already had STEM, then they've already been exposed to this.
Yes. Awesome. And this is only at, is this IB charter?
It depends on the sites. I'm at Bayside. Laura's at Central. So about, there's 6 STEM teachers right now. So I know Mendoza, for you, Miss King, the kids will be getting trained on this starting in the next week or two.
With, so that's the next part of the design project that Haley's doing, or it's separate from the design project?
Haley's going to be wrapping up the design project, and then we're going to start this with with third through sixth. So
Okay.
you might want to work with her as far as, what content to put in there, maybe.
She'll be pleased because they've had some experience, because I did, like you guys, a lot of you probably did LEC over the summer,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
which partially rotted my brain. So I completely forgot how to start. I have a beautiful portfolio. I was like, how did I do this? Because it was sleep deprivation getting that done. That was a hard program, but I started them right away. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this right away. And then it quickly got pushed aside with like 2 million other things that we had to do.
Right.
But they'll remember when she
Yeah.
talks to them about it, so that'll be good.
Yeah, it's just beautiful to see, like it's also a way to kind of monitor. I know that I used it for IP meetings where when they ask you for a writing sample, you just pull up their writing portfolio, their Google site, and there it is. You don't have to, kind of dig and kind of look for writing samples. It's just there. So thank you so much, you guys. Don't forget to go to your second session. I think we're out of time. If you want to stick around to see how we can implement Google Sites for teachers, I'll be here. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.